National Transportation Safety Board. Preliminary Aviation Accident Report. Part 1. Executive Summary. On July 14th, 2026, at approximately 19:13 CEST, Nickelodeon Airways Flight NA203, a Boeing 737 MAX 9, registered as G in KBM, disappeared from secondary surveillance radar during a scheduled international passenger flight from Edinburgh, Scotland, to Rome, Italy. At the time of radar loss, the aircraft was flying over mountainous terrain approximately 26 miles northeast of Milan, Italy. There were 185 souls aboard, 178 passengers, and 7 crew members. The aircraft did not arrive at its destination, and no further radio transmissions or emergency beacon signals were received. Search and rescue operations have been carried out by local and international authorities. The National Transportation Safety Board has appointed an accredited representative to assist foreign investigating authorities under the provisions of ICAO Annex 13, as the aircraft was manufactured in the United States. Aircraft information. Aircraft manufacturer, Boeing. Aircraft model, 737 MAX 9. Aircraft registration, G and KBM. Aircraft age, 15 months. Delivered April 2025. Operator, Nickelodeon Airways. Certificate holder, United Kingdom Civil Aviation Authority. Flight history and sequence of events. Flight NA203 departed Edinburgh Airport on a standard instrument departure bound for Rome with an estimated en-route time of approximately 2 hours and 30 minutes. The flight proceeded normally through UK, Swiss, and French airspace, maintaining routine communications with relevant air traffic control centers. Upon entering Italian airspace, the flight was cruising under Instrument Flight Rules, IFR. At 19:10 CEST, Flight NA203 was operating normally, maintaining its assigned altitude and heading. At 19:13 CEST, while transiting approximately 26 miles northeast of Milan, secondary surveillance radar contact and NTSB data from the aircraft were lost abruptly. The last recorded position was in the vicinity of coordinates 45 degrees, 45 minutes, 42 seconds, 0.1 north, and 9 degrees, 34 minutes, 20.0 seconds east. After loss of contact, ATC controllers attempted multiple radio contacts on both primary and emergency guard frequencies. No distress call was heard. A preliminary review of weather data in the vicinity of the flight's last known position indicated a mix of high-altitude clouds and localized convective activity typical of summer conditions in the Alpine foothills. Detailed meteorological analysis, including satellite imagery, radar data, and pilot reports from other aircraft in the area, is ongoing. 5. Search, rescue, and recovery actions. Because the aircraft disappeared over mountainous terrain, Italian search and rescue authorities, coordinated by the Corpo Nazionale Soccorso Alpino e Speleologico and the Italian Air Force and aerial scouting aircraft from the RVAF, initiated emergency response protocols. Aerial search assets and ground rescue teams were deployed to the last known radar coordinates. The search and rescue team located the wreckage and the victims of the crash at Mount Resignon, the location where the aircraft crashed. There were no survivors. Search and rescue teams recovered a single individual in critical condition who, despite the best efforts of the rescuers, succumbed to his injuries soon after being found. The individual was identified as John Barossa, a 45-year-old British man who was sitting in seat 24A. Source: the crew and passenger manifest. Under the provisions of ICAO Annex 13, the government of Italy, via the Agenzia Nazionale per la Sicurezza del Volo, NTSB, will lead the investigation as the state of occurrence. The NTSB, representing the state of the aircraft manufacturer and airline, along with technical advisors from Boeing and CFM International, the engine manufacturer, will actively support the investigation. The immediate priority of the Joint Investigative Team is to locate the wreckage, recover the Flight Data Recorder (FDR) and Cockpit Voice Recorder (CVR), and secure any satellite or radar telemetry. Let me remind you that this is a preliminary report containing information gathered during the initial stages of the investigation. This report is subject to change or correction as new evidence is found and analyzed.